Good day, my name is Thuli Phiri. I'm the founder and MD of The African Storyteller, a company that seeks to position Africa to investors and assist investors in positioning their brands in Africa. This is the first of a series of interviews that I'll be doing with business leaders, civic organization leaders and government leaders, just exploring what exactly Africa needs to do to untap Africa's true economic potential as we are set to be the next growth frontier. Joining me today for the first of the series of interviews is Mr. Jerome Boyet. He's the CEO of TMH Africa, and TMH Africa is a subsidiary of Russia's biggest rolling stock manufacturing company, Transmesh Holding. Thank you for joining us. TMH Africa. So last November, you announced that you'd be making an investment of R500 million into acquiring an existing 45,000 square kilometer facility in South Africa. Can you tell us about that investment? You know, what has been the progress to date and why South Africa?
Quite a lot of things. So yes, indeed, in November last year, we acquired the facility down in Boksburg, where we are today, where we are very happy to host you. The facility is on our back, but on the quiet side of the facility. The premises, as you said, is 45,000 square meter, and at the moment we are just getting to 200 employees. We have significantly increased since November, and I think we found the right type of environment in South Africa. And secondly, for us, it's an interesting area where we can develop our narrow gauge capacities to serve the continent, obviously, which is our primary focus, but also serve our other customers outside of Africa who are using usually metric gauge. We don't want to serve them from Russia. We would like to serve them from South Africa, where we have a breadth of skills and capacity around those particular dynamic of trends.
Okay, so congratulations on your 200 workforce. Congratulations on the first few orders that have actually been trickling out of this facility, and we've really been following everything that has been said about TMH in the media. I think a lot of people are not familiar with the TMH brand in this part of the world. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your scale and size globally, especially in Russia?
Today we are just above 100,000 employees, turning around 5 billion euro worldwide, primarily in Russia and CIS, and our primary focus is new build with locomotive, passenger coaches, EMUs and metro. Remember, the Moscow metro is quite a sizable operation. Yeah. And also 50% of our turnover at group level is dedicated to maintenance and services in general. We have a very large fleet of locomotive under permanent maintenance of 15,000 units.
Why do you think Russia is interested in Africa, or rather why is Africa an appealing and interesting market for Russian investors?
There is a long historical tie between Russia and Africa as a continent. There was a lot of common ideology, there was a lot of common fight for the future. I think this relationship only needs to grow or be reinstated. I think Russia is also far more open today than it was earlier towards international relationship and market, and obviously these historical ties are now reflourishing again because Russia is more export-centered or outward focused than it was before. From the African perspective, I think Russia is a very interesting market. There is very large needs in many respects in Russia around agricultural products, good of many types. And it's also for Africa a nice way to diversify its destination country.
What are some of the things that you believe could improve, you know, South Africa as South Africa's position as an investment destination of choice, especially around policy, especially around coherent and consistent policies, especially around how we position, you know, the country to the world?
So I think the conducive reason for investing for other Russian companies in South Africa are the legal system, the financial capacity of the country. This is pretty robust. The ease of doing business, I mean, yes, from outside it might look extremely complicated and a bit different, but eventually it's not that difficult. As you said, we are in for 18 months. We created the company, we did the acquisition, we are up and running for the last year now, almost. and things are starting to materialize. We've been bidding on many tenders. We got some direct orders coming in, and slowly but surely the business is growing. I think for Russian company, the interest is that it's far away, so they need to set up a shop, a place here, and see for themselves, depending on their sector. But there is a large area where the collaboration can be created. Russia has a long history of good sound engineering capacity, and I think a lot of what Russia is experiencing in terms of climatic condition, in terms of distances, in terms of moving goods and people from one place to the other, is also happening in the continent. And this is why we believe there is a future for us. 10 years ago, there was pretty much no trade within Africa. It has grown significantly. It will continue growing with the free trade agreement. And we believe we need to fuel that with capacity, with technologies which are manufactured, developed on the continent rather than elsewhere, because it's always better to look at it from close than to look at it from far.
What are some of the things that we could actually learn from Russia?
African continent is urbanizing. Urbanization means that the common transportation becomes the transport of choice, and rail has a massive role to play in that space because it's already present and because it has proven to be one of the most efficient way of moving people in and out CBDs and business areas. The way we contribute in the Moscow Metro, or we could contribute in South Africa, is obviously on our core business, which is manufacturing rolling stock, which is fit for purpose, and maintaining it, because there is a long way between having a tool to move people around and having an efficient tool ready to work, as you say, every 54 seconds. And this is on the back of our expertise on the 15,000 locals we are maintaining on a daily basis, or the work we do for the Moscow Metro on maintenance. But we think there is replication, there is experience we can replicate in South Africa for the local commuter train, freight rail trains, or on the continent, because as I said earlier, we are not here only for South Africa, we are here for the continent, and help operators making sure that their maintenance are on par with their operational requirements.
Do we have a balance between youth and experienced talent? And do we have a balance between male and female talent within the rail industry to actually ensure that we are leveraging this industry for the future?
So I think we have skills, and this is one of the reasons why we choose South Africa over other countries, is that we thought there was depth in the skill pool and enough depth for us to be able to develop. Now, when we speak about balance, it's far less nice, or it's far worse. And I think that overall we lack youth, but most importantly we lack women. And I think the rail industry, the manufacturing industry, the AV industry, steel industry, still carries a view that, or an image that it's muscle intensive, it's dirty, yeah, that's true, but washing is still available, but it does not really require muscle force. It requires dexterity, it requires attention to detail. We have female welders, boilermakers on the shop floor every day. They are doing a great job, but they are nowhere close to 50% of our workforce. They are young, though, so that's a good hope for the future, but definitely the rail industry is open for women. Definitely the steel industry is open for women. I think we just need to work together to change the perception and say that we are open for women and we would welcome more women in our workforce.
Mm-hmm. And just in closing, can you just share with us again what sort of services does TMH offer in South Africa, and why TMH?
So what we offer in South Africa is contractual manufacturing for non-present OEM, our own range of product, and obviously service activities, whether it is maintenance, retrofitting, or modernization. Why TMH? Because we are here, so you don't need to move a very sizable piece of equipment very far to get it treated. The second thing is that you got an OEM guarantee. We are able to do these things on our own, so we are able to repair it. And a lot of skill sets which are available around making sure that the turnaround time of a maintenance of train, for instance, is done the right way. Because every day we got this expertise worldwide of putting locos on the network, whether it is our own make or any other original equipment manufacturer make.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
this
you
has
for
been
being with
quite
us.
informative, and I really, really wish you all the success in the upcoming Russia-Africa Summit. I know that TMH is one of the main sponsors, and you'll have a big visibility, and hopefully when you deliberate with our African leaders, you can actually talk to them about the pain points that business is actually facing in Africa, but most importantly, you can actually find common ground in terms of what it is that will work for Africa and get more Russian investors to actually bring their money into Africa. Thank you.
Thank you.